not better. Now, that's just stupid, okay? Okay. There's no kind way to say that. They say fossils prove evolution. I say, guys, you got to be kidding. Fossils prove evolution? No fossil counts for evidence for evolution. None. Fossil record? There is no fossil record. There are a bunch of bones in the dirt. Now, you're putting your interpretation on them, okay? It's not a record. This guy says evolution is a fact, and the best evidence for evolution is the fossils. That's silly, okay? There is no fossil record. You cannot look back in the fossil record. You look at fossils in the present. You put your interpretation on them, okay? There is no fossil record. It's stupid to say that that's evidence. If you find a bone in the dirt, all you know is it died. You can't prove it had any kids that lived. You sure can't prove it had different kids. And why would you think a bone you found in the dirt can do something animals today cannot do, which is produce something other than their kind? No, the fossil record, that would not hold up 2 seconds as evidence in a court of law. This guy says, I said this one, there are no missing links, the whole chain is missing. Stephen Gould said, the absence of fossil evidence is a nagging problem for evolution. We got a good theory, if only we had some evidence. Now that's just stupid, Stephen, okay? By the way, Stephen Gould died with a set of my tapes on his library shelf. I went to visit him a few years before he died. He wasn't there to talk to his secretary. I donated my videotapes to Stephen Gould years ago. Had him sitting on right there next to his desk. Hope he watched them. Hope he got saved. Maybe he did. I don't know. Hope so. But to believe that we've got a good theory, we just don't have any evidence. Okay, well then maybe consider the theory might not be right, okay? Richard Goldschmidt said, the first bird hatched from a reptile egg. That's real stupid, okay? Then they say smaller is simpler. Well, that's silly, okay? Smaller is more complex. This textbook says all the many forms of life on Earth today are descended from a common ancestor found in a population of primitive unicellular organisms. Excuse me? A primitive unicellular organism? If it's single-celled, it's not primitive, it's complex. That's stupid to say that's simple. One little paramecium is more complex than the space shuttle, and you can put thousands of those into a drop of water. Smaller is not simpler. Here's a microchip inside a paperclip. It's not simple. This ant is holding a microchip that is capable of processing all the letters in the Bible 200 times per second. Let's compare the brain of a honeybee to a NASA Cray computer. The honeybee is tiny. The Cray computer is huge. We'd all agree there's a size difference, okay? The brain of a honeybee is pretty small. The Cray computer could do 6 billion calculations per second. I think they got a faster one now. But the YMP-C90 could do YMP-90 could do 6 billion calculations a second. It's estimated the honeybee's brain does 1,000 billion calculations per second. The Cray uses many megawatts. The honeybee uses 10 microwatts. Talk about energy efficient. You know, the honeybee not only makes honey, he flies on honey. That's his energy source. And the honeybee can fly 1,000,000 miles on 1 gallon of honey. How would you like a machine that gets 1,000,000 miles per gallon? Cray costs $48 million. The honeybee's brain is pretty cheap. You splat them on your windshield all the time. Many people scramble to help babysit the dumb Cray computer. If it breaks, man, you got to call in a whole crew to fix it. Honeybee has a self-healing computer. How'd you like one of those? Cray weighs 2,300 pounds. Honeybee doesn't weigh too much. Let's see. The Cray computer is huge, slow, inefficient, costs lots of money. You got to babysit it. But everybody knows it was designed. There isn't anybody with half a brain who would tell you the Cray came from an explosion in an electronics factory. But they turn right around and say the honeybee evolved. That's stupid, okay? Smaller is not simpler. Smaller is more complex. And the brain of a human's a lot more complex than a honeybee. The human brain's unbelievable. You've got the memory capacity of the entire British Library. You have the computational power in bits per second greater than the entire national telephone system. The human brain is absolutely phenomenal. One evolutionist told me that he thought the human brain was nothing but 3 pounds of chemicals that arranged themselves by chance over billions of years. I said, then how can you trust your thoughts and the conclusions you've come to? That's stupid, okay? Maybe, never mind. DNA proves evolution. Yes, boys and girls, we have evidence from molecular biology. Percentage of DNA sequences is talked about here. It says Darwin speculated all forms of life are related. This speculation has been verified. You think DNA has verified Darwin's theory? That's stupid. DNA is unbelievably complex. The DNA molecule in your body, the deoxyribonucleic acid, is the most complex molecule in the universe. If you took it and unwound 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 it, if you could ever get the thing untangled, it'd be about 7 feet long. And it'd be like a twisted ladder. Each half of the ladder is called the genes. That thing splits all the way down the middle, recombines when you make a new baby, and it gets all back together and winds itself all back up. Unbelievably complex. The average person has 50 trillion cells in their body. The DNA from if your entire body's DNA would only fill 2 tablespoons. But if you tied them all together, it would reach from Earth to the moon and back. 5 million round trips out of 2 tablespoons. If you typed out the code found in your DNA, when you got done typing that incredibly complex code, you'd have enough books to fill Grand Canyon 40 times. You think that happened by chance? Well, the probability of just one DNA coming by chance is 1 in 10 to the 119,000th power, which is a big number when you consider the entire visible universe is 10 to the 28th inches in diameter. DNA happened by chance? I'm sorry, that's stupid. Now, you might not like the idea of there being a creator because that means you might have to answer to that creator someday. Okay, well, I can't help you then. I did a debate at Embry-Riddle University a couple months ago, 3 against 1, 3 professors against me. It was a slaughter. Those poor guys, I felt so sorry for them. Oh, man. The next day, the student who organized the debate said, "Would you guys like to do that again?" I said, "No." After the debate, we had a Q&A time, and one of the kids said, "I believe evolution's a fact." I said, "Well, let me ask you a question, son. Just suppose, creation was true. Suppose I'm right. Suppose there is a creator. And he owns this place. I mean, he made it, he owns it. Just suppose, okay? And he makes the rules." I said, "Would that change your lifestyle any?" He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, suppose the Creator gave us a book like the Bible that says, 'Thou shalt not commit adultery.' Don't lie, don't cheat, don't steal, no lust, no fornication, no pornography. Is this going to change your lifestyle any?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, then tell me, have you accepted the evolution theory because you really have some evidence or because you like the freedom from God?" He said, "Well, I've accepted it because I'm horny." I said, "Thank you, son. You may sit down." Folks, there is no scientific reason to reject the Bible. There is no scientific reason to accept the evolution theory. None. Now, you might have a reason to accept the evolution theory because of your lifestyle. Well, then I can't help you, okay? But let me tell you, God created the heaven and the earth. God's going to come back and be the judge of this world one of these days. And if you haven't trusted Jesus Christ, His Son, to forgive you of your sins, you're in serious trouble. You're going to stand before God in trouble. You say, "Well, I'm a pretty good person." Oh, yeah? You ever lied? How many have ever told a lie? Put your hand up. You're doing another one. Okay. Bible says, 10 commandments, thou shalt not steal. How many ever stole something? Come on, you already told me you're a liar. Put your hand up, okay? Well, that's just 2. We already know we're all a bunch of lying thieves, okay? You think, people say, "Well, God's going to judge my good works against my bad." Who on earth told you that? Go to the judge and say, "Judge, I only murdered 1 person. Look at all the people I didn't murder. Surely my good works outweigh my bad. You better think that one through." And God will say, "Okay, I won't send you to hell for your good works. I'll send you there for the bad ones." How about it? What if you died today? We're going to cover in the next session a bunch more reasons why evolution is stupid, and it is. But I think Satan is using this theory to blind people, to give them a placebo. "Oh, I've got an answer to life. I know how we got here, and God didn't do it." It's absolutely a stupid idea. And Satan's laughing at you for believing in it.